the podcast. It is episode 3. Come and check us out at the Capital PTBO, 370 George Street, or online at thecapitalptbo.ca. Jordan Mercier here, alongside my main man, Mark Million. What's going on?
We've had a great week. A lot of great feedback on the pod, which is, I'm always surprised. I know for you guys, like for you and Latour, it's like a run, like this is your job.
No big deal.
NBD.
Yep.
Right? You're Paul B. Sinnett. You know that reference?
NBD?
Yeah. The Spit and Chicklets podcast.
Oh, yeah.
NBD's been around way longer than that.
Latour, don't ruin it for the people at home. Yeah. Spit and Chicklets pod. It's terrific.
Yeah.
Have you tried the Pink Whitney drink?
No, I haven't. My brother's pretty big into it.
I have.
Is it vodka and pink lemonade? Is that what it is?
I don't know what it is, but I like it. I don't.
It's all over the
I don't read
place.
the bottle.
So this is the Pink Whitney. These guys were at the forefront of this movement. The pre-made hard drink is the next big thing. You want to invest your money? We should have our own.
Mark's Hard Lemonade?
It might be already done. It might
Dave's
be.
Munich Bock?
I don't know what that means.
President's Choice. Remember Dave?
Oh,
Like,
yeah, Dave. Yeah, that's right. Whatever happened to Dave?
I don't know. Dave's India Pale Ale?
He was on a strong run for a long
He'd have little
time.
commercials on TV.
Yeah,
for those.
between him and Galen Weston. I'd like to see what the head-to-head matchup is on that. Between Galen Weston and Dave.
So the last time we chatted, I was fairly confident that my LA Rams were going to win the Super Bowl. As a matter of fact, I made a prediction that was 41-10.
Correct.
Now, that did not exactly play out the way that I thought. However, I am excited to celebrate another fan championship.
Yeah.
Feels great. I don't put in any of the extra effort. But when you're just cheering for a team and they win the Super Bowl,
Yeah, sure.
I mean, that's the best of both worlds.
Okay, so let's start there. 41-10. It was close, though. No, like I never liked the idea. I don't like listening to shows that do that either, so I wouldn't want to do it on ours where you come on and, I mean, you have the take if it's going to be 41-10, and here's your reasons why. But that game, like, it nearly got out of hand in the first quarter. Right?
So I'm glad you recognize that. Now, I don't think it was going to trend far enough to be 41-10. However, the injury to Odell Beckham Jr. played a major factor in sputtering the Rams offense.
Right. I also think that fourth down stop on Cincinnati, right? If the Rams had gone back down and scored, it's 14-0.
You're talking the first quarter.
First quarter.
Yeah.
Then OBJ goes down. That changes dramatically their offensive game plan because he scored the first touchdown.
Well, now you're having Stafford have to throw to Ben Skoranek,
Right.
Who's not very good and led directly to the second interception that Matt Stafford threw.
They also, strangely, and maybe this was part of the game plan, is they went not away from Kupp, but almost exclusively in the fourth quarter.
If we rolled back the tape, I think this was something that you and I were onto when we were talking about prop bets, which we'll get into in a second, which was the over-under for Cooper Kupp. And then I said, well, I think Cincinnati's going to key on him, but I think there's going to be that one drive where they just feed him 4 or 5 times,
right?
Which is exactly what happened. And I did not, in any way, shape, or form, think it was going to be the last drive.
Yeah.
But sure enough, that's the way that it
and
down.
that would have been, in my opinion, that would have been the way to, to kind of consider the same thing. Why would you go to Kupp at the very end when you absolutely need it? You would think since he would be playing, they would double team or they would bump him off the line or something like that to upset it, but it didn't.
Was this a good Super Bowl? I mean, it ends on a play, basically the touchdown, and it's a long, like 79-yard drive to get there.
Yeah.
As a fan of the team, obviously I'm going to put it up here because now it's an amazing memory. However, to the casual person, I've heard that people were really compelled by it.
Yeah.
I've also heard that it was a bit of a yawner.
Yeah, so we've had people come in this week that we talk, they want to talk about the Super Bowl or we end up talking about the Super Bowl in some fashion. And it has been pretty mixed. I think if we had taken a poll of some degree, we had a guy in today that, he felt like it was a strange Super Bowl. Didn't really have a dog in the race, and not really from a favorites point of view, but even from a historical point of view.
Yeah.
That's the Tom Brady effect, right? When Brady's getting to 8 and 9 and 10 and winning 5 and 6 and 7. Then,
legacy players, yeah.
Right, so it's a legacy play there. You didn't have that here. I thought the game was compelling. I know it wasn't the best of the playoff round
No.
by any stretch.
Matt, before I give my thoughts, what did you think? Was this one that was really entertaining and enjoyable, or was it a bit of a snoozer?
It was a good game. It was entertaining. I think Mark kind of alluded to it there. The problem is the playoffs were so good. So you instantly want to compare it to, the Cincinnati game against Kansas or the Kansas-Buffalo game, things like that. So I think by comparison, compared to the rest of the games in the playoffs, maybe a bit of a snoozer, but as far as, a quality game to watch, it came down to the final 2 minutes.
It did, for sure. The ending was great.
Can I ask one thing?
Yeah.
And it's kind of off the board, but not really. Where are the 90s snoozers? Where have these things been hiding in the playoffs? I have a hard time wrapping my head around how 85% of the postseason games are terrific.
Yeah.
Are great to watch. They're coming down to the last minutes. Not that I miss the 55-10ers. The 40, what was it, 42?
Hey, there was a run in the late 80s. I think the NFC wins 13 in a row, and they're all fairly decisive.
All bangers.
Except for the Bills and Giants. Like, that was the
Right,
one sort
the
of
2019, yeah.
So here's my thoughts. As a fan of the Rams, I'm going to keep saying that because I just feel like I need to. I need the ring right here.
Oh, sure.
But I've watched the Super Bowl front to back 2 different times apart from the live viewing because the next day I'm so excited because when you're a fan, I don't know if this makes any sense, but it's hard to enjoy it in the moment when you're living and dying on every single play.
Right, sure.
Basically the mid third quarter all the way through to the final drive. I mean, you're talking about some anemic offense, or you could flip it and say some great defense.
Yeah.
However, there was just a play where it was, okay, the Bengals get it. The Rams are going to get a sack, and then, it'll be a 3rd and long and sort of a check down. Cool. And then the Rams will get the ball back near midfield when they're down 20-16. And McVay is going to throw on 1st down, get a nice gain, and then for whatever reason is going to try and run it again and lose 3 yards.
Yeah.
And then they're going to try and hit Ben Skoranek on 3rd down and punt, rinse, wash, and repeat.
Yeah.
And that happened like 3 or 4 times where there were a lot of punts in that Super Bowl, and there were not a lot of sustained drives in the second half, regardless of whether or not they came up with points or not. So upon the rewatch, when I'm a little bit more neutral, I thought, okay, you can make the argument for good defense, but to me, it looked like really bad offense for a stretch.
Yeah, I think I would absolutely agree with that. I don't think that the defense was overly terrific. I thought that we had talked about Jalen Ramsey as an example.
Yeah.
That's a tough get on Higgins.
Yeah.
That's tough. I can appreciate guys talking. There would be enough. Those gloves are sticky enough that there would be enough drag on that metal helmet that would turn his head to the side. And when Ramsey's looking back for the ball, you're not going to have your equilibrium 100% about you anyways.
A little
even
off
if you
balance, sure.
Yeah, even if you are a pro athlete, he gets beat for a 75-yarder. He got beat for, what was it?
46-yarder.
46-yarder.
Earlier on.
I don't know.
And sneaky last drive where they decide to throw a quick out to Jamar Chase, and he jumps the route, and Jamar Chase gets behind him.
Right.
Now, in the moment, I was thinking, literally, Jalen Ramsey has the football equivalent of what golfers call the yips, where it seemed like he was unsure, he wasn't tackling as well as he used to, and he had let some guys behind him, which is pretty rare because he doesn't do that very often.
Yeah.
And then I was looking at somebody who was retweeting some of the stats from Pro Football Focus and were saying, actually, statistically, he didn't play that bad, which sounds kind of weird. You take away the 75-yarder, which you could argue was a missed face mask.
Sure.
So wasn't necessarily his fault. But, I mean, he only, I think, got caught on 4 out of, 70 plays or something. Those are not quite the numbers, but
sure.
It was basically a perspective of, no, it's an extremely hard position, and sometimes when you're against skilled players, they beat you. Now, I sort of look on the other side, which is, I don't recall Deion Sanders giving up a 75-yard touchdown in the Super Bowl.
You know what the other thing, though, was about Deion Sanders is he needed 2 guys to tackle.
Yeah.
Go back and watch Sanders' clips.
You going after prime time right now?
Well, a little bit. I watched his 30 for 30 up here on the TV there the other morning. The night that he played for the Atlanta Braves
and the
Deion double play. But he couldn't tackle either. Double Deion.
I'm just saying. Anyways, I super excited about it. How did we do on our prop bets? I feel like I was really hot and cold.
Yeah, so I think, you know what, the beauty of prop bets is you could probably poll the audience here, and real quick, they would probably get the same. You got 4 of 10.
Okay.
4 is tough.
Ted Williams, 400.
Yeah, 400. I think if you hit 400, you're a Hall of Famer.
I missed the mark on the yardages for sure.
Yeah, and very close.
Yeah,
you know, you're
razor thin.
under 280 on Stafford. He throws 283. You're over Burrow, 276. He throws 263. That's tough. Coin toss is tough.
I did get the sack one.
Yeah,
which
the sacks
didn't look
seem to be
good
the
for a
easiest
while.
one.
There were so many, like in the first half, there wasn't a lot of pressure on each quarterback because they were doing a lot of quick passes. In the second, when they tried to let Roots develop a little bit more, that's where I think the Rams got 6 of their 7 sacks in the second half.
The cross sport props that we went with, Stafford's first completion, would it be higher or lower than the amount of assists Westbrook would have on the Saturday night? And Westbrook got 5.
Oh.
And
So I did actually get that one.
But didn't we have something with Latour there? Didn't Latour pipe in with something about a hot take? It was going to be a ton of assists. He's, you know, this is how he's coming on now.
I thought he was going to just pass every chance he got to try to get a triple-double, which is a very Russell Westbrook
I was going
to
to say,
do.
that's pretty much the template of his career, for sure.
I would never shut out a friend of the store, certainly Tag and Overveld. Just, I pulled these, like, you know, we had a bunch of these. I pulled this one specifically. Taggin he's one of our brothers here, but he got 1.
Ouch.
1 out of 10.
I mean, that's almost hard to do.
Well, and the one he got was total sacks.
Okay.
So that should have been the gimme one.
Yeah.
So really, he went 0 for 10.
Holy.
That hurts. But Taggin, we love you, brother. We're going to see you tomorrow. I know you got a big launch going over next across the road. So we'll see him tomorrow.
More likely to win the Super Bowl again in the future, this Rams team or this Bengals team?
Was there ever a lot of talk on this Rams team about that's it?
Like McVay's retiring, Aaron Donald's retiring.
And
What are you doing? Like all of which has since cooled down.
Yeah. But is that the new thing? Is that the en vogue thing? At 36 years old, you're asking the head coach if he's going to retire?
Yeah.
Like, that's it. I've played my bit. I'm done.
They think he's going to try the John Madden go into broadcasting. Good looking young guy, sort of like exuberant energy. But I don't think at 36 you walk away.
That's a really interesting bit, though, with Madden, because if you watch, you know, Madden before he was John Madden, you know, when he was the coach of the Raiders were cool.
Yep.
He wasn't the greatest coach.
No.
You know, like his numbers are good.
Yeah,
Like
winning
they're-
percentage wise, one Super Bowl. Yep.
One Super Bowl, yeah. But I mean that video game franchise is what brought John Madden. That and the Tenactin.
Yeah.
Tenactin really brought John Madden
Tough
to the
actin' Tenactin?
Yeah, boom, tough acting. That EA Sports franchise really helped elevate just as much as his work with Summerall in the booth.
I'm going to tell you why this core group of Rams is more likely to get back to the Super Bowl. The NFC is just not going to be as competitive as the AFC. The window is easier for them, I believe.
Yeah.
When you look at the AFC, look at the gauntlet of quarterbacks that a player like Joe Burrow will have to beat
Yeah.
year in and year out. Patrick Mahomes,
Yeah.
Justin Herbert,
Yeah.
Josh Allen.
Yeah.
I mean,
Right. Just those 3 is enough.
I mean, those 3. And a lot of people are like, oh, Burrow, you know, they're a young team. They'll get back. Dan Marino.
yeah, right.
Dan Marino never got back.
Yeah, signed Dan Marino, sure.
He's like, what, a sophomore, breaks all the records, and then he's in the Super Bowl. And it's like, okay, they'll be back. They got beat by a more poised 49ers team. Oh, wait, never. Never again.
And there's other guys inside that AFC. I mean, Mac Jones. I know Burrow getting to the Super Bowl. Him getting to the Super Bowl doesn't make him more qualified or more quality quarterback than, say, what Mac Jones would be.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm 100% with you on that side of the coin where the Rams have a much easier road.
Look at the quarterbacks in the NFC. I mean, you do have Aaron Rodgers. Is he in? Is he out?
Yeah,
Brady's
is he in?
gone
Is he
now.
out? Sure.
Seahawks have begun to rebuild. Where does Russell Wilson go? Okay,
Yep.
he's viable.
Yep.
The 49ers, good team. Jimmy G, you buying in? I
Yep.
don't know.
Is he staying?
And I'm looking around thinking the Rams, you could make a case, are actually the best team in the NFC. Like, this wasn't meant as a fluke. Like, this was a 12-5 team.
Yeah.
That was a division championship team. And Matthew Stafford's going to be back. I mean, Aaron Donald's going to be back. Cam Akers, not a great showing in the Super Bowl, but that's a guy who came back really quick from an ACL tear. So you're expecting him next year to be a little bit more. And and you've still got Cooper Kupp and all these other pieces.
I'm really intrigued even on that NFC side. If Rodgers goes to Denver, as an example, Russell Wilson's going to stay within there. If he stays in Seattle or he goes to New Orleans or whatever the case may be, but that carousel, another one of those quarterbacks lands in the AFC. How's that AFC West look?
Yeah.
The Denver with Rodgers and Mahomes with Kansas City and Herbert?
Yep.
Holy smokes. And you got Derek Carr, I guess, but...
And I think Joe Burrow is going to be really good. And I was still impressed by the moxie. I didn't think he played an A-plus game.
No.
I thought the scheme was right to sort of keep him short.
He didn't
play... guess.
Right. He didn't play well enough. Like, he didn't play poor enough to lose.
No.
By any means.
No.
I don't think really anybody did.
No. So those are our thoughts on Super Bowl. Want to have the final word?
The best song of the whole thing was the commercial with Showdown and ELO. That was the best track they laid down in the whole 4 hours.
What about the Doctor and Snoop?
It was terrific. That was great.
Upside Down, 50 Cent.
Yeah, 50 Cent. What's happening, Curtis? You be getting that TV money, bro? You've been working that TV angle.
Everybody was super excited about this halftime show.
Yeah.
My wife, all of our friends. I thought it was good. I didn't think it was, hands down, greatest thing I've ever seen. I didn't think that. I don't know. Maybe it's and I like it. That's not my personal music, but my music of my generation. When I was in high school, those are the acts.
Yeah. I think
similar to maybe today, it's more country based, but it was rap.
Yeah.
So much so that I wanted to grab baggy jeans the next day and a basketball jersey and go into work.
Sure.
Because I would felt at home. But I thought it was good, but I didn't think it was. I mean, Prince obviously had a good one once upon a time. Bruno Mars has been electric a couple of times.
Yeah.
I have a bias towards Springsteen when he was doing it with the Cardinals, Steelers.
Sure.
But I don't know. Like, it was really good and it was nostalgic, and that's what it was meant for.
And you're right. It was comfort food.
Yes.
Because you could sing along. The better part of the generation, even the kids, even the younger generation understood. They understand that piano drop in the beginning, and they know what's coming, right? So it was, my dad thought it was boring. Yeah. My dad wasn't into it. He's 61.
He's like, what's going on here?
He just wasn't into it. And then, of course, the ELO thing, which would have been his generation, went right over his head, too. So
he didn't even catch that one.
I don't think my dad maybe listened on silent. I don't know.
Interesting stuff. Matt, I'll give you the final word as our music extraordinaire. What did you think about the whole thing?
I loved it.
Yeah.
I think probably a little bit of lip syncing going on. I mean, I think you get that every year with the Super Bowl.
The guitar players behind Eminem during Lose Yourself, there is no way. Right. That looked like a bad music video.
Yeah, for sure.
But I thought it was good. I thought the set was a little weird, at least from somebody inside the stadium, because you look at it, it's really only everything faces one way, right? So I liked it. I thought the 50 Cent bit was great. If you don't look at him upside down, you're good. He was only upside down for like 15 seconds.
What's the thing now about the NFL? So Dre, the rumor is Dre put $7 million of his own money into the production.
Is that right?
That's been a thing for a bit now.
Yeah. So is the NFL giving their halftime entertainment, which is now just as much the draw on the it's the draw on the non-fan side, but just as important to the fan. We're giving you a budget of X amount of dollars to play with, and then Dre looks at it like, nah, we're not. I can't do that for the $2 million you gave me. I need another $7. No, okay, we'll put our own in.
The NFL just can't afford it, I guess.
Oh, give me a break. Wait, what's the benefit there?
Mark Payne says, do another 90s retro halftime show with country. Do Shania, Garth Brooks, Alan Jackson.
Oh, wow.
I can get behind that.
Not sure about Alan Jackson, but...
Yeah.
I like Alan Jackson. I'm not sure if he's what I would describe as a riveting live performer.
Okay, so Mark Payne will probably, if he's the guy that suggested it, we're going to give Mark his due here. He'd be able to put a playlist together 4, 5, 6 deep. So Shania warms you up, right? Yeah. Gives you that 90 seconds of something, Whose Bed Have Your Boots Been Under, or something where you can sing along.
Yeah, Man, I Feel Like a Woman. That's got to be the one.
Okay.
Yep.
Garth steps in with a couple of real heaters.
Garth has to do the famous I'm swinging from like a hanging ladder.
Sure. Yeah, sure.
Unexplained, like suspended ladder.
And none of the Chris Gaines crap. Like, there's none of that stuff. None of that alter ego.
Chris Gaines.
But then you hear that And you get a Chattanooga, you get that Chattahoochee, you get Alan
It
Jackson.
would have to be in like Atlanta or something, right?
As the fourth or fifth song?
Yeah.
No, New Orleans.
Okay.
Mark Payne, I'm with you.
I do think Garth Brooks could do it. Like,
Garth would be great. Would Amazon allow it? Because he's exclusively on Amazon, isn't he?
that's right.
Well, interestingly enough, you see the Thursday Nighters, you see the ads that Prime Video runs, that they're going to run the Thursday Nighters now.
Garth,
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Prime Video.
step in there. So, what's your appetite right now for the National Hockey League?
I am notoriously not a viewer during the regular season.
Always consistent.
For the last...
Because I'm
Probably-
with you. We're on the same vein here.
Los Angeles Stanley Cup was probably the last time that I really consistently took interest in it. And I love fantasy hockey. I love playing fantasy hockey. That's what keeps me engaged. I can't watch it. It's for me. It's just not my. It's not my cup of tea. It seems very, very bland. The Michigan goals and the through the legs and the stuff like that. You know what would happen in the middle of April?
Oh, no.
You're gonna get
Matt, do we have a Don Cherry sound effect? Because we got one right here.
it. Easy
No,
now.
we don't.
Take away the fun.
You
from
don't
the
have.
game.
There's no fun in April.
No.
It's attrition in April and May.
It's holding and grabbing in 2-1 games.
Look at that. Not necessarily holding and grabbing in 2-1 games, but what it isn't is allowing Mitch and Austin and Connor and Sid and all these guys to run around and do all their stuff. Because it's the Ryan O'Reillys, it's the Peter Angelos, it's the Zdeno Charas.
Let me tell you, got to get that Gary Roberts on your team.
Well,
That's a very Don.
You might as well have said that in Don's voice. What do you mean?
I tried to.
Gary
Failed.
Roberts.
That was always the thing. Let's get Gary Roberts. And I was like, the guy like won one cup. Like,
Yeah.
It wasn't like he was this like.
Like, I know he
bona fide
snapped his
winner.
neck and came back. Like, congratulations. That probably
right,
does
Gary.
prove some sort of fortitude.
You mentioned Sidney Crosby. He potted goal number 500 this week. Stat that might shock you. Sidney Crosby has led the league in goals twice. Only led the league in assists one time. Now, when you think
Wow.
of Sidney Crosby, probably like me, you're thinking of a good Sidney Crosby season is sort of 35 goals, 60 assists,
Sure.
sniffing around 100 points, top 3 in scoring. I was shocked to learn that he would have led the league in goals more often than assists. Only
Yeah.
one time. If you had told me Sidney Crosby had led the league in assists 6 times, I would have been like, oh, yeah, makes sense.
So what? When the book closes on Sid, what was he? Is he a playmaker?
One of the top 10 most complete hockey players.
Okay, complete.
think. And some people would say, like, he didn't win the Selke Trophy. Okay, well,
Sure.
he was still a really reliable center in his own end,
Was
especially
he-
later on in his career.
Is he in an era where there's undoubtedly 3 notoriously better snipers than he is? Like pure goal scorer wise?
Pure goal scorers? Well, I mean, Ovechkin.
That's it, I think.
Matthews?
I don't
Kind
think
of
Austin,
a different era. Would you say different era?
Yeah, he comes in 10 years after Crosby, right? Like Matthews
Stamkos?
comes in and again, Stamkos is probably
Like pure
too
goal
young
scorer had a 60?
He had a 60
Really early, though.
I look at from where he came. He may be a byproduct of his era, but from 2005 forward, Alex,
Yeah.
Stamkos, what's he, 2012?
Yeah. How many other 500 goal scorers are there right now in the league? Is it just those 2?
It's just Ovechkin and him, yeah.
That's
Yeah.
it, eh? So that's to your argument right there, isn't it?
I mean, it's a first ballot Hall of Fame career. He's got a gold medal. He's got multiple Stanley Cups. He's got
It's
MVPs.
a
an
top
undoubted.
10 player we've ever seen career, probably when all is said and done.
Is he a quiet 500 goal scorer?
I think very quiet.
Yeah.
Especially because he only has, so the 2 times that he led the league in goals were his only 2 40-goal seasons. He only has 150 at 51.
Right.
So again, this is a guy who was comfortable scoring 35 to 40, and he just did it a lot. But when I think of Sidney Crosby, that stunned me. It also stunned me, and Matt can bring this up, that he only had 2 Art Ross trophies. Again, I know injuries early, didn't have a lot of seasons, like where he played 80 games. But again, if you had told me Sidney Crosby had led the league in scoring 4 or 5 times, would you call me a liar?
No.
You'd be like,
yeah.
Sure.
Sure. Wow.
it's just some perspective where I looked at it. It's almost like, Matt, we were talking about LeBron James.
Yeah.
undoubtedly the best basketball player of the last 20 years, right?
Easily.
But when you look at his basketball reference page, you'll be like, he led the league in scoring once and assists once.
Yeah.
And then not much else is bold on that page. It didn't matter because we were watching it in real time and we knew who the best was.
Yeah.
And that's sort of the same argument with Sidney Crosby versus some of these other guys.
I think that would be an interesting parallel at some point to draw that. I think you could make that argument easier for LeBron that he's a one-time scoring champion or these sorts of things because of the way that the basketball, like the game of basketball evolved over the 17 years he's been in the game. Mm-hmm. You know, the advent of the triple-double, the advent of the three, and these things becoming commonplace, and iso ball and all these things, so that you would have multiple guys. I just assuming, throwing names around, but you would have had Durant, you would have had Harden, you would have had Giannis, you would have had these guys that Steph.
Yeah.
In hockey, not so much. Nothing really changed. He, in fact, actually probably came into an era where it was more advantageous for him as a goal scorer.
Sure.
You know, after the whole strike and, you know, Shanahan and changing all the rules.
And just the physicality of the game. It's not there like it used to be.
Goes back to the point that you made about not really being as interested into regular season hockey. Now, I'm a Red Wings fan, so it's been a lean couple of years. So that's been sort of on the back burner. I'm excited to watch them when I can this year because it's finally, they've got young pieces. And instead of watching Franz Nielsen play, I get to actually watch someone who you're building around. However, that is the one takeaway where you flip around and you're like, and I'm not the only one to have this critique. A lot of ex-NHLers have it too, where there's not much ratcheting up the intensity.
Yeah.
Like outside of if you're a number one seed playing a key rival and it's like, okay, we're ready to go. Two teams that think they're going to win the cup. If I'm flipping around now and I watch, two teams that are dwindling near the bottom, like there's not a lot of like banging and smashing and all that kind of stuff, which is part of the game that I like. And I'm unapologetic about that. When that doesn't exist, it's hard for me to like get emotionally invested.
And that's like, so Justin is a hockey mark. Like he watches it, follows it very, very closely, that sort of thing. When I have a hard time getting excited about playoff teams like Florida, like Colorado, because I feel to myself like Florida's got no jam. I know the kids are talented and they're all running around the ice and, they're beating teams and they're beating them handily and the goaltending's strong and the goal scoring's good. But I still, in the back of my mind, and maybe it's because I'm an old person.
Yeah.
But in the back of my mind, I think if the LA Kings could get in at 16 and win it with the worst scoring on earth, they had a season.
Did that kind of ruin it for you? Like the fact they were able to do that?
No, I think you just have to get into the tournament.
Yeah.
You just have to get into the tournament.
Seeding doesn't matter.
Look at the Habs last
really
year.
Doesn't.
Yeah, Montreal last year would be another example.
Sure.
Yep.
I think from that standpoint, like this is what scares me about the Leafs is that, you're still tied into the Big Four. You've got a decision to make about Jack. So, if you win this year with Jack, this is going to be the only one you win. What are you going to do? You're going to have to get rid of Willie. One of those guys has to go. The $6 million man, the 210s, the 11.
Steve Austin?
Steve Austin. What do you? Oh, the $6 million man.
You got to be quick to hang with me, bro.
I'm thinking of Stone Cold.
Colossus?
I'm looking. Yeah. Okay. I'm with you on the fall guy.
Lee Majors.
That's what excites me, but at the same token, that's what worries me is getting in on these things where you've got.
You have no idea how pleased I am with myself that I tripped you up on the Steve Austin thing.
Give me a break.
I cannot wait until our trivia is WWE.
It's coming.
It's
Or
never.
WWF.
No, I'll
It's
quit.
coming.
I'll quit.
WrestleMania is coming up in a month and a half, pal.
Okay.
I just want to stay on this for a second. Tampa Bay, which is a team that you have not mentioned.
Yeah.
Are they as well positioned to win a third straight Stanley Cup as we've seen since the New York Islanders?
Yeah.
I don't think the Penguins, it was obvious that when they won their second in a row a few years ago that there was going to be a little bit of a back bend for them. Okay? They started unloading some pieces. The Red Wings in 99 were just getting a little bit older, and they really kind of tried to overthink things, and they went out and they got Wendell Clark, and they got Chris Chelios at the deadline. And they were actually up 2-0 on Colorado in the second round of the playoffs, and then lost 4 straight, and that was it. I think this is the best that we've seen as a possibility of winning a third straight cup.
I see Tampa Bay being, they're on a level on their own.
Yeah.
They
playing a different game sometimes.
absolutely playing a different game sometimes.
So we got a couple Facebook comments here. Mark Payne wants to know what's next to you, Mark. So I'm sure we're going to get to that.
The pompous one, Mark Payne.
Thank you, Mark Payne.
Jay Million, who I think is standing on the other side of the room, says watch out for Vegas. And David Bowie, our good friend, Mr. Saki, former professional wrestler.
Yeah.
He says he personally loves watching regular season because he can watch prospects develop throughout the year. And he's also an LA Kings fan. So
that's a fair answer. That doesn't get me excited that much.
Yeah. Vegas
Unless there's like a real prime star that you're like, okay, I'm watching Austin Matthews as a rookie.
I'd be willing to, and I'll discuss this with Jay Million afterwards. Are they a goalie away, though?
Vegas?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. I think you can argue they beat Montreal if Fleury doesn't have that one terrible turnover. Because that's when the series shifted.
That was bad. Yeah, that Montreal went up 3-1 in that game, right?
Yeah, that would have been 2-2 otherwise. Vegas had all the momentum heading home.
David Bowie, I want to give you a shout out here. We're about to do the Flashback Friday quiz, and the theme is going to be LA sports in honor of the Rams' victory. Before we do that, though, why don't we explain what is beside you? Is that a lemon loaf?
That
looks more like a carrot cake. What is that?
You watch your tongue. That, Mark Payne, friends, if you could see that.
Hold it up to the camera.
Look.
Nice and close.
Go for a scoop.
Look, it's beautiful.
Up a little more. You're just out of frame. There you go.
There we go.
That's nasty.
You're fired. This week's Lemon Loaf sponsor is
Dr. Ecker?
No, that's made with love. That's Swag Parcel Service, Heather Million's handiwork.
Oh.
And this is what I was trying to get across to you two heathens. It's been chilled in the fridge all day.
Yeah.
So it's cold. It has that tangy lemon zest. And there's a little bit of icing, not too much. A little bit of icing on the top. If you're looking to sponsor the Lemon Loaf every single week, you can contact us.
Yes.
Mark Million, Jordan Mercier, whoever you want. You can call us anytime. Isn't that right?
At the Capital PTBO. Visit us, capitalptbo.ca.
We're going to put
Latour says banana bread over lemon.
Who said that?
My mother.
Wanda.
I think we covered Wanda last week, didn't we? About the studded.
I do like banana bread, Wanda. I do like it more.
Her banana bread, I don't see every time she sends me home with it, it's done by the time I get back to Peterborough. So you guys haven't tried it. It's better than any lemon loaf you'll ever eat. Guaranteed.
We'll put a little flag here. We'll fly your flag with a little card in there.
Yeah.
The Lemon Loaf sponsor of the week. Does your banana bread have to have
chocolate chips? Yes.
A pecan?
I could do pecan or chocolate chips.
Which would you prefer?
Chocolate.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
You have
warmed
to
up with a little butter on it.
Oh, give me a break, please. But not at a Super Bowl.
No. You'd be disappointed. I ordered a very basic pizza for lunch, not even dinner.
You did?
And I just ate the leftovers. My daughter was sort of battling something, and I just, again, I don't want to harp on this too much, but when I'm a fan in the moment, it wasn't like I was like, oh, let's eat a bunch of food. It's like you're literally focused like, Stafford, you idiot.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Yeah.
Johnny Hecker, you dropped the friggin' after point for no apparent reason? That almost was big.
That was almost
they were down
very
20
big,
to
2016. Yeah.
And it's like, now you don't need a field goal. You need a touchdown. Sorry.
Absolutely.
Go on at that.
Barry Latour, my father, says suggesting pecans is just flat out rude.
Ooh.
Pecans.
And Justin says, hey, Leonard's going to be back and ready for playoffs, so we'll Stone. The first line is poised to be the best in the league with Pacioretty, Eichel, and Stone. And then he says carrot cake for the win.
Pacioretty's still getting something done.
Carrot cake. How did you go with Pacioretty there out of that take? Carrot cake.
I like carrot. I'm a big carrots guy.
Matt, you got the
I got the music.
The famous intro. Let's hit it.
They hand it off to Johnson. Boise State has won the Tostitos Fiesta Bowl. Can you believe it?
Two strikes, ball one. Here comes the pitch. Strike three. A no-hitter, a perfect game for John Larson.
Anderson made a wild stab towards the bell. Here's another shot right by the door. And he's done. And scores to Canada.
Down goes Frazier. Down goes Frazier. Down goes Frazier.
We're seeing what this guy is really made of. What he is. The greatest professional athlete in the world today. Look at this. He's I don't believe it. I don't believe it.
I don't believe it either, Jesse the Body Ventura. All right, the category here is LA Sports in honor of the LA Rams winning the Super Bowl. Gentlemen, how confident are we in that category? Could go in a lot of different directions here.
Scale of 1 to 2 or 1 to 10, Latour. How are you?
You got 4 or 5. LA Sports is such a wide range. That's the thing. Are we talking like a major 4, or are we mixing in the LA Galaxy?
I stayed mainstream.
Okay.
I'll
yeah,
say
5 or
that.
6,
I
I
stayed
think.
Oh, 5 or 6. Your old buddy shoots at 10. Let's go.
Okay.
Oh, no.
Here we go. Let's start in baseball. This 2-time All-Star set the Dodgers record for most home runs in a season in 2001. Who is he? How well do you know your early 2000s LA Dodgers, which was not a particularly good era for the LA Dodgers?
41 home runs?
49.
49.
Yes.
Latour?
I couldn't tell you a member of the 2001 Dodgers. So, no.
49 is the number that sticks. Adrian Beltre.
I knew you were going to go there. He led the league in home runs with 48 a couple years
that's right.
later.
Now we've got a guess in the chat.
Okay.
Can I use that guess, or is it just a flat out no? Like, am
No,
I on
you
a
can't
team here with
scoop
Mark
the
Payne?
guess. The pompous one?
We had a couple guesses. So
Yeah.
Mark Payne says Kent.
Jeff Kent.
Shane Sayers says Mike Piazza.
Pizza Man was good, but I thought 49, that's a big number for Mike.
Bit of an oddity, and you're both gonna. You should know these as a Blue Jays fan. This guy.
Oh,
Frank Thomas. I don't know. Did he ever play for LA?
No.
mute his mic. Frank Thomas.
The answer, gentlemen, is Sean
Green. Crap.
Leaves Toronto as a free agent,
Yes.
goes to LA, has a couple of really good years. Sean Green, always loved him. Complete player too, right? Good
Absolutely.
defender, huge arm.
Yeah.
Hit for a decent average.
My baseball knowledge is slim to none.
Okay, we're still tied, though.
We're tied
Yeah.
0. I'm still in it. Oh, and for the record, by the way, Norway leads the 2022 Olympics in gold medals. Mark.
I know.
Running away
You've
with
been,
it. Wondering?
you've been watching them.
What NBA player has appeared in the most All-Star games as an LA Clipper? LA Sports is the category. What NBA player has appeared in the most All-Star games as a Los Angeles Clipper?
Blake Griffin.
Blake Griffin is Matt's guest.
Yeah, like that's. I feel like if you've got to go,
Are you
old
going
here, it's gonna be
Olowokandi?
like- sorry.
Are you going Michael Olowokandi?
Well, he was on the tip of my tongue.
You don't even need to try. It is
Yeah,
Blake Griffin.
Blake Griffin.
Yeah. Good job. That one's a little more modern for Matt's take right there.
Yeah.
This one I feel is a Mark Million question.
Oh, I hope so.
What NFL Hall of Famer was the first USC running back to win the Heisman Trophy, doing so in 1968?
I don't know anybody that old.
First USC. Oh yeah.
USC running back to win the Heisman Trophy, the first one to do it. 1968 is the year.
I believe he went on to some sort of stardom.
Some notoriety?
He had a heck of a postseason career. Orenthal James Simpson.
OJ, the juice.
Is it OJ?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
The
Yeah, Mark
only
Payne got
man.
OJ. David Bowie guessed Eric Dickerson.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That was SMU.
Yeah, SMU ED later.
The only man to run for 2,000 yards in a 14-game schedule.
14 games.
Yeah.
And there's nothing to be taken away from OJ from what he did afterwards. The numbers he in Buffalo.
Yep.
Like he's running in the ugly.
With no quarterback, really.
Please.
It's literally, this is our game plan.
Yeah.
Is OJ Simpson.
You're running 7 games a year at Rich Stadium. It was snowing in September.
David Bowie, if he's listening on the chat, should get this one. Who's the Los Angeles Kings' all-time leading goal scorer?
Marcel Dion.
Who is the LA Kings' all-time leading goal scorer? Marcel Dion is the registered guest from Matt Latour.
Yeah. It's going to be... Ooh, jeepers. See, the thing with Dion is that's a tricky one because
There's some Red Wing years.
There's a couple of Red Wing years. He's got
Ranger
730. Years. The Ranger years are kind of crap. But
Sorry, did you say goal scorer or point scorer?
Goal scorer.
Okay, yeah. I am sticking with Dion then.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna have to go with Lucky Luke Robitaille.
It is Luke Robitaille.
Come on!
It can't be by a lot though.
By 7.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah.
It is 557 to 550.
Sean Harris
Yeah.
got Luke Robitaille and O.J. Simpson. Mark Payne guessed Dave Taylor.
Dave
Oh,
Taylor.
that would have been
wow.
a great
It's a good
guess
guess,
too.
too,
500
yeah.
goal scorer for sure.
See, you kind of teased us there. It
David
was like,
Bowie got it as well.
Mark was kind of like, no. Luke Robitaille.
Yes.
I thought Marcel Dion was a lock on that one.
No, I knew it was close.
So what is it, 2-1 now?
It is 2-1.
Oh, blowing the lead
We're going
again.
back to basketball for this one. And this one might fit into what you'd call niche content here. What 2 NBA centers are the only UCLA Bruins to be drafted number 1 overall in the NBA draft?
UCLA Bruins.
What 2 NBA centers are the only UCLA Bruins to be drafted number 1 overall in the NBA draft? Matt might not be aware of just how much the dynasty was of the UCLA Bruins.
Yeah.
What, 7-8 titles in a row,
Yeah.
88 straight wins, Hall of Famers all over the place.
I'm gonna go half this equation and
Yep.
Bill Walton.
Icon.
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar?
Lou Alcindor is probably the correct.
You guys nailed it. Those are the 2.
No, Lou Alcindor is the correct.
Yes.
Yeah, so you lose, Latour.
No. Hold on a second.
No, Lou Alcindor.
He was Lou Alcindor
He was
when
Lou
he was
Alcindor.
drafted.
So I don't get any points for Kareem.
Well, you get a quarter point. Ask the folks here. Ask the folks at home here.
Should we accept Kareem Abdul-Jabbar?
Yeah, should we? Yeah.
Are we accepting Mark's answer after my answer?
Well, it was kind of a half and half. Oh, you mean he wouldn't get the...
You mean to say I wouldn't have got Lou Alcindor? Who was he
Probably
drafted
not.
by?
Probably not. Doesn't matter.
Let's just say there was a big man in Milwaukee before
How about
Giannis.
I get half a point for that one. You get a point. Puts it us 3-1.
I think Mark still wins.
I think it's still 3-2. I'll give you a full point on it because I got Bill Walton.
Well done, gentlemen. LA Sports.
UCLA Bruins. They were
Yeah. John Wooden?
John Wooden, unbelievable.
Yeah.
The numbers that team put up, like I don't know what somebody will correct me if I'm wrong. I think they had 68 wins in a row.
88.
88. That's it. 88 wins. Yeah.
88 wins in a row.
How do you do LA trivia and not mention the Lakers
I did that on purpose.
or the Rams? I guess I've only been
Well,
there 3 years or whatever.
Well, they were in LA way before.
Oh, right.
Vince
yeah, way back in the
Ferragamo,
day. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Jim Everett.
I love the idea of going with I thought you were going for sure with the Lakers question when you flipped it on the Clippers.
I know.
Because the Clips, like,
Former San Diego Clippers. Right?
yeah, that's right. They're not really born and bred.
I had a lot of fun here. This was great.
The lemon loaf was terrific.
Went over.
Trust me, it was a win.
This is the Capital PTBO podcast. This is episode number 3. And you can check us out. We are available wherever you're doing your streaming, as well as on Apple and Spotify a bit later on. And we are happy to, first of all, engage people in the chat. That's always
For
very
sure.
cool.
Yeah, absolutely. That's so rad.
And if you want to come down here to the Capital PTBO, you can find us at 370 George Street or online at thecapitalptbo.ca. Mark, let's do this again next week.
Yes, sir. I'll be here.
This has been an episode of the Capital PTBO podcast.